वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
वेणुर्मधुरो रेणुर्मधुरः पाणिर्मधुरः पादौ मधुरौ नृत्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गीतं मधुरं पीतं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
तरणं मधुरं तरणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं स्मरणं मधुरं वमितं मधुरं शमितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
कुञ्जा मधुरा माला मधुरा यमुना मधुरा वीथी मधुरा सलिलं मधुरं कमलं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोपी मधुरा लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं मुक्तं मधुरं दृष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोपा मधुरा गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा सृष्टिर्मधुरा दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
रसितं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
वेणुर्मधुरो रेणुर्मधुराः पाणिर्मधुराः पादौ मधुरौ नृत्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गीतं मधुरं पीतं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
हरणं मधुरं तरणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं स्मरणं मधुरं वमितं मधुरं शमितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
कुञ्जा मधुरा माला मधुरा यमुना मधुरा वीथी मधुरा सलिलं मधुरं कमलं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोपी मधुरा लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं मुक्तं मधुरं दृष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोपा मधुरा गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा सृष्टिर्मधुरा दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
मधुरं वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
वेणुर्मधुरो रेणुर्मधुराः पाणिर्मधुराः पादौ मधुरौ नृत्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपते
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी बरनौ रघुबर विमल जसु जोदायकु फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसति लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज संवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतई सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्योताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज संहारो आपे तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे चारों जुग पर ताप तुम्हारा है पर सिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता असवर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा कीजय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय।
Jai Shri Krishna. In Zoom meeting, if you want to turn off the notification of Zoom chats, then click on the chats and then click on these three dots. Turn off notifications, click on that. Click on the mute option and now chats notification will not disturb you. Jai Shri Krishna.
सच्चिदानन्दं वासुदेवं व्रजप्रियं धर्मसंस्थापकं वीरं कृष्णं वन्दे Jagadgurum.
Jai Shri Krishna. A very warm welcome to you all. On behalf of Geeta Pariwar, I Dipti Kute from Chandrapur, Maharashtra, welcome you all, Geeta Sadhakas, to continue our joyful journey into chapter 6, Atma Sanyama Yoga, part 2 of Bhagavad Gita at this Zoom platform. During the session, if you face any technical issues, please follow these steps. If you cannot hear the audio, kindly use earphone or increase the volume on your phone or computer. If the chat box keeps opening, please mute it by clicking the bell icon in the top right corner. If audio is breaking, check your internet connection. Use Wi-Fi instead of mobile data or move to an open space. If the screen is not visible, then please click on Start Video in Zoom. If screen appears blurry, it may be due to slow internet speed. Try changing your network. If Zoom disconnects repeatedly, you may also watch the session using the YouTube link. If Zoom closes suddenly, please rejoin using the same link. I hope now you will not face any technical issues. Now let us begin this session with the auspicious grace and blessings of Yogeshwar Shri Krishna and Param Pujya Swamiji Shri Govind Dev Giriji Maharaj. May his divine guidance purify our minds, study our hearts, and lead us on the path of wisdom and devotion. For prayer, I invite Shri Ramji Mishra Ji Bhaiya Ji from Katni, Madhya Pradesh, a retired army professional, and a devoted seeker of spiritual wisdom, and is associated with Geeta Pariwar from September 2023. Now serving as core trainer in level 1 and group coordinator in level 3. Most welcome Ramji Bhaiya ji. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna, Didi. Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna to everybody. Vasudevasutam devam Kaunsa-Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishno Vande Jagadgurum Shri Krishno Vande Jagadgurum. Jai Shri Krishna to everybody.
Thank you Ramji Bhaiya ji for heartfelt prayer. Before lighting the lamp, let us become calm and quiet in our hearts. I invite Brinda Satyanarayan Didi from Chennai. A Carnatic music teacher, a devoted seeker, Didi has been associated with Geeta Pariwar since January 2023 and offers dedicated seva across levels L1, L2 and L3. Most welcome Didi for lighting the lamp. Jai Shri Krishna.
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो नयनसुभगामस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम् शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृताम् कलहंसकृतावासां वरदां शारदां नुमः.
Thank you, Brinda Didi, for lighting the lamp, invoking wisdom, harmony, and divine grace for today's session. And with great joy, I am delighted to remind you that on the sacred occasion, sacred occasion of Geeta Jayanti Mahotsav, Shashti Geeta Parayan started on 15th November till 31st December 2025. Chapter Parayan and Chintan with Dr. Ashuji Goyal Bhaiya ji at 6:30 am and complete Parayan every evening at 7:30 pm, conducted by different languages and departments. Let us all join together to Parayan with them and seek and soak in the divine blessings. A level 1 batch is starting from 19th December 2025. I request you to inspire and encourage your loved ones to learn the Bhagavad Gita. Now, the moment we are waiting for has arrived. Let me introduce our main speaker of the day, respected Shraddha ji Raodeo Didi, resident of Hyderabad, BE Electronics, postgraduate diploma in IT Systems and Management, and worked as mobile app developer. Team leader for over 13 years. Didi is disciple of Param Pujya Swamiji Shri Govind Devgiri Ji Maharaj and currently serves as president of Geeta Pariwar Bhagyanagar, that is Hyderabad. Didi has been associated with online Geeta Pariwar since 2020. Didi led the foundation of monitoring team for over 2.5 years and now leads the literature publication proofreading for 13 languages. Over a decade, she has been teaching Bhagavad Gita to children. Moreover, Didi is a melodious vivechak, A very warm welcome, respected Shraddha ji Raodeo Didi. Jai Shri Krishna. दीदी म्यूट है आप, आवाज नहीं आ रही है.
Audible now? Abhi aa
Yes,
rahi hai?
audible, audible.
Mic was not working. Jai Shri Krishna, everybody. A very warm welcome to the session, all of you. Nice to see all of you. Jai Shri Krishna. Let us all begin by bowing down to Param Pujya Gurudev, with whose blessings we all assemble today here to go through this beautiful chapter, and Shri Krishna himself, with whose grace we all get an opportunity to go through Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā. Let us all pray together. Hari Om. गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरये परमात्मने प्रणतः क्लेशनाशाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीमष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् Om Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Shri Krishnaya Namaha. Hari Om. A very warm welcome to the session, all of you. Last week we started a very beautiful, very critical chapter, a very important chapter in Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā, which is also known as the master key to all the chapters. This chapter is a very deep chapter. It has a very deep meaning associated with it. Everything is not very straightforward sometimes and very deep. But this is when we all say that Bhagavad Gita is not just a scripture that we read, that we just worship, and then we just forget it. It is a scripture that has to be brought in practice. It is a scripture that needs to be contemplated upon. It is a scripture that has to be experienced. It is not possible that we just learn it, read it, and keep it aside. No, it is, and just understanding the translations is not enough. It is a scripture that we all have to experience, and that is why Swamiji has given us a very beautiful adesh, a motivational sentence that he has kept as a aim for us is Geeta padhe, padhaye, jeevan mein laye. We have to learn to read Geeta, learn Geeta, teach Geeta, do prachar of Geeta, and most importantly, get Geeta in our lives, implement Bhagavad Gita in our lives. We should be able to experience these principles. And this chapter gets us a little more closer to that experience. In the last session, we saw how do we go inwards. This chapter is all about closing the doors of outside and contemplating upon yourselves, contemplating upon the Paramatma Tattva within you, and gradually open the key to connecting ourselves with the Paramatma Tattva. All in all, this chapter is going to teach us a deep focus on Paramatma, and gradually, first how to experience that Paramatma within ourselves, and then gradually how we will be able to experience the same Paramatma Tattva in people around us, in things around us. That is how this chapter proceeds. And in this journey, through this Atma Sanyama Yoga, we had seen last time some very beautiful, important shlokas where we had gone through some important principles as to how a dhyani, how a dhyan yogi, what is a yogi, what is a yoga ruda. And once a person is he has started on this journey of being a yogi. What are his characteristics when he becomes a yogi? And in this process, now what we are going to see today, what we are going to start with, is the process of actual dhyan, of actual meditation, which will help us reach, and not just reach, but stay in that position as a yogi. It is the practice. Dhyan would be the practice which will help us stay in that place. How is this possible? How is the preparation for dhyan done? That is what we will start with today. How to remain a yogi, how to become a yogi. All these beautiful principles are explained in this chapter, and we will start looking at these principles today. So when Sri Krishna, last time we saw that how a yogi is free from all the worries. He is yata chittatma. He is always contemplating upon upon the self. His body and mind is controlled. See, there are two important things. One is the one most important thing towards attaining this dhyana yoga, to be able to achieve this dhyana yoga, is the fact that we should be able to discipline ourselves, we should be able to steady our mind. Once this basic um, steadiness is achieved, then one can proceed to do the dhyan. And to do the dhyan, the physical environment in which you are sitting, that should be pious, that should be pavitra. And in this context, Shri Krishna says that you have to spread an asan, wear a comfortable asan and a very clean place. Suchau deshe pratishtapya sthiramasanamaatmanah natyuchritannatinīchai chailajinakushottaram. How should this asan be? It should be a comfortable asan. Comfortable in what sense? Not a sofa set or all this. When we say Chailajina Kushottaram, a cloth, a skin, the kushagrass, these were the elements that were used for the asan in the olden days. No, these are not to give an additional comfort to anybody, but what it is for, it is so that your asan remains steady. The asan, the hardness, it does not distract the yogi from his from his sadhana, from his dhyan. And where should this asan be placed? It should be placed at a clean spot. How is that clean spot? That clean spot it should be cleaned, and how it should not be very high. Natyuchrita nati niche. Because if the asana is very high, then also it will start shaking. The yogi, it is not possible to sit in that high position. Natyuchritan, a very low position, is also not going to be very comfortable. So the height of this asana should be a comfortable height. And once you establish that asana, what do we do? Tatraikagram manah kritva yata chittendriya kriyaha upavishasane yunjat yogamatma vishuddhaye. Tatraikagram manah kritva. What do we have to do after this? One thing, now these two shlokas we'll be taking together. तत्रैकाग्रं मनः कृत्वा यत चित्तेन्द्रियक्रियः उपविश्यासने युञ्जात् योगमात्मविशुद्धये. Then समङ्गाय शिरो ग्रीवन् धारयन्नचलं स्थिरः सम्प्रेक्ष्य नासिकाग्रं स्वं दिशश्चानवलोकयन्. After establishing asana in the right way, in an appropriate way, what is expected to be done? We are expected to sit with a focused mind. Tatre ekagram manakritva. The mind, ekagra, means concentrated, focused. Now, this entire chapter, as we were discussing, it is about what? It is about getting Bhagavad Gita in our lives. And when we want to get Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā in our lives, when we want to live by these principles, the first two most important things that we should inculcate in our lives are: one is discipline, and then second is focus. The first thing that we have to inculcate in the life is discipline. uh, Regularity in discipline. And ekagra chitta means what? Just completing all other just forgetting about all other work, and doing what? Doing this dhyana. Tatra ekagram manakritva. Your mind should be ekagra. Ekagra means what? At one point. When we are this entire thing, Yata Chittendriya Kriya, when we are sitting in this for this dhyana process, how we should be seated, our mind should be focused in one single point. What is that single point? So now that dhyana, when in Bhagavad Gita, we have learned a shloka, dhyana vastita, in the dhyana position, what the yogis do, what our rishi munis have been doing, they have been contemplating upon the upon Vishnu Bhagwan, whoever is the deity that you have faith in. See, if I have faith in something, then only I can contemplate upon that deity. If there is no faith, if there is no astha on that deity, then it is not possible to constantly think about that, constantly think about that deity, constantly think about Bhagwan. If I'm too worried about my business, about my home, about my children, then because my mind is very, very attached to these things, it is not going to be possible for me to focus on whom? To focus on Shri Krishna. So here, what is most important? First important thing is your mind. It should be focused on whom? On Parampita Paramatma. And your mind should be one pointed dedication you should have towards that Shri, Shri Bhagavan. It could be any form. Then at the same time, your mind should be controlled. Indriya, your sense organs and mind, they should both together be focused on that one point where you want to apply your dhyan. Is it possible? Have we ever done? Now many people say it is not possible, Didi. We are not able with ekagrata, will full one pointed concentration. We are not able to do things. Think very sharply. We'll see when children are watching television, how is their level of concentration? One point. No matter how much you call them, no matter how much food items you place in front of them, no matter what you do to them, they will be super focused only where one pointed dedication towards television. Why? Because the mind is completely engrossed in what? In the subject that is being shown on the television. If our mind starts loving Sri Krishna, when our mind becomes it falls in love with Sri Krishna, this kind of concentration can also come in what? In this dhyana, in this concentration, in this dhyana meditation process that we are going to do. So our mind should be focused and it should be purified yoga atma vishuddhaye, the purification of self. Now here what happens, here Shri Krishna is mentioning about what are the emotions that drive us. These emotions should be controlled. When you're sitting for dhyan, all your emotions, all your sense organs should be in complete control. And once we are in control, how do we sit? There are not only the emotional characteristics that are expected to be followed, the physical condition should also be equally steady. What are the physical conditions that should be steady? The body should be erect. The erect position is extremely important. If you are leaning on something and if you are not able to sit straight for a long time, then the focus will not be very good. For sitting straight, what are the things that Sri Krishna tells? That you have to hold your body straight. Dharayanna chalam sthiraha. It should not be moving. Your backbones should be straight. And how should the sampreksha nasikagram? How should your vision be? The vision also, just like the asana is not very high or low, the vision should also not be very high or very low. Sampreksha nasikagram. The point, the tip of our nose should be right in the straight direction, and you should not be looking in any directions. Sometimes some people while working, the window is here, and if I'm issuing some tickets, how they'll be looking in this direction, working in this direction. That is not expected. What is expected? We sit straight with our body, head and neck, kaya, shiro, grivan, your body, head and neck, everything in a straight line. And how do we hold them? Hold them steady, hold them straight, and gazing straight at the tip of the nose, gazing your eyesight should be in the straight line direction, where not very high, not very low. Nasikagram, it is pointing towards the tip of the nose. That means it is just straight. And this is Shanavalokan. So that also means that eyes are not completely closed, they are slightly closed. They are pointing low downwards, but they are not completely closed. You should be in a awake position. And in this position, first, Shri Krishna talks about the physical calmness, the steadiness of the body, then control over all your sense organs. And in this situation, what is that we are contemplating upon? The peace, and contemplating upon the Brahma Tattva, the Paramatma Tattva. Hmm? What Shri Krishna says further is very, very beautiful, very, very important. प्रशान्तात्मा विगतभिर्ब्रह्मचारिव्रते स्थितः मनः संयम्य मच्चित्तो युक्तासीत मत्परः. How should the person be seated? He should be with serene mind, just free from all worries. When we sit for contemplation, this is a grantha of contemplation. So what we have to think about, we have to just see what are the things that we are lacking to reach there. At every point, we should keep thinking, what is it that this is what Shri Krishna has told, but where am I lacking? This contemplation should always be going on. And what happens with us? Because we have fear of what has to be done next, what is to be done, and this job is still left. There are different types of fears that we continuously have, which breaks the peace of our mind. But what Sri Krishna says here, Vigata Bhihi, means all the fearlessness. The sadhak, the yogi is fearless. Now, whatever happens to my body, I am in control of whom? The Parampita Paramatma. Now, nothing should bother me. Now, nothing should worry me. I am Prashant. Once I know that Sri Krishna is taking care of all my worries, then what is there to be scared of? When in this brahmachari vrate sthitah, in the complete vow of brahmacharya. Now this brahmacharya, this word, some people just understand brahmacharya is the time before the marriage. It is not like that. What is the true meaning of this brahmachari? The person who does the behavior, whose behavior is according to the brahmacharya. What is brahmacharya? The whole practice of continuously being in touch with the Brahma. Continuously being in touch with the Brahma Tattva means what? Following all the Vedic lifestyle, following the rules that have been prescribed as per our Vedas, in a constant contemplation of the Brahma Tattva, in the constant meditative form, such that you are in touch with the Brahma Tattva, constantly connected with the God. That is the true brahmachari. Brahmachari just maintaining a physical brahmacharya and just maintaining these other this by the generic definition what brahmachari is maintained is not enough. We should be following a Vedic lifestyle. We should be following a lifestyle which will keep you connected to what? To the God, the ahar, the food that we have. Sorry, the food that we eat, hmm, the things that we read, the things that we see, everything should be focused at what? Towards connecting us to the Brahma Tattva. Everything that we do, everything that we think, everything that we see should be such that connects us to the Paramatma Tattva. This is the importance, this is the actual way of following the Brahmacharya. So a person who is sthit in Brahmacharya means what? Who is constantly in alignment with these principles is a true brahmachari, is stationed, is steady in the brahmacharya. Such a person will experience fearlessness. He will be fearless and he will experience lot of peace. Hmm? And such a person will do what? Manas sanyamya matchitta yukta asita matpara. Such a beautiful line. This is a very important line also. Hmm? Where Shri Krishna is talking about manas sanyamya matchitto. Now, where should our mind be concentrated upon? It should not be stuck in these small things. One sale has started, my mind goes there. Some other job is there, my mind will go there. Somebody has not listened to me. Somebody is not talking to me. Somebody is doing this to me. Our entire focus, our entire mind gets stuck in these small things. But what Sri Krishna says, your mind should always be attached to the God, to this Paramatma Tattva. No matter what is happening in my surroundings, my mind is continuously attached where? Is attached to the Paramatma. Mat Chitto. His Chitta becomes equivalent to Sri Krishna continuously. How was the mind of our saints like Mirabai, Tukaram Maharaj, Ramdev Maharaj? Wherever they see, their mind is completely focused where? On the Sri Krishna, on their Vitthal Bhagwan. Hmm? And why Sri Krishna says that this mind is contemplating upon me, here ensure that it is not specifying which form of me, not just Sri Krishna, Are Vitthal Bhagwan also, Ram Bhagwan also. So he is not emphasizing on any one particular form of his, but on the Tattva, on the Brahma Tattva. So the Brahma Tattva, the Atma Tattva of Ram is same as the Paramatma Tattva that is in Sri Krishna, that is in Shivji. All it is wherever your mind. Sometimes I see our mind is very fickle minded. Sometimes it will feel that how much time I can do Rama Nama Rama Rama Ram. Then the mind will get bored. Then sometimes we will feel like, okay, let me just think about what Ayodhya Ram. What a beautiful temple, what a beautiful Ramalalla's Murti. Sometimes we can just think about that Tirtha, sometimes about that Ramanama. Sometimes, if I'm not able to contemplate on Ramanama for a long time, now I also don't want to think too much about Ayodhya. I will just think about his Leela, the stories of Ramayana, where I see how he is meeting Shabari and how Shabari Mata is serving Sri Ram and with what love and affection Sri Ram is looking at Shabariji and what beautiful Navada Bhakti he is telling. All that I can contemplate, that is also contemplation of Sri Ram. It is not just sitting in one place and touching, but being connected to Paramatma in any of these forms is what this phrase means. Hmm? That my manas sanyamya machitto. My mind is in control. It is not going here and there. It is constantly thinking about Sri Ram. Manas sanyamya. It is in control, that it is not moving anywhere. And machitta. It is only contemplating upon the Paramatma Tattva. Now this Paramatma Tattva it could be Ramji, it could be Krishnaji, the form, the deity, the God, in whichever form you like him. It is your wish. Such a person is what? Yukta. Yukta. He is a balanced one. He is a Yukta. Asita Matparaha. This Matpara is a very beautiful word. We know you must have heard the word Tatpara. Tatpara means what? Very, very desperately seeking something. But he is seeking something else. Similarly, Matpara, who is desperately seeking me. Who is desperately, how was Dhruv, Prahlad, how was their desperation just to want a God? They are just contemplating upon God. They are Matpara, they are contemplating only upon God. Such a person will be doing the dhyan. Further, what Sri Krishna mentions, Yunjannevam sadatmanai yogi niyatapanasah shantin nirvana paramam mat samstham adhigacchati. Such a person. Evam atmanam sada yunjan, the one who is always contemplating by this process of dhyan, by this contemplation on me. Such a person, such a balanced person will do what? He will be contemplating. He is a niyatamanasa, such a control. This niyatamanasa is a very important word. It is somebody who has a controlled mind. Niyata, the yogi, is what? He has a controlled mind. Such a person who is always contemplating upon me will experience what? Param Shanti. He will always be in complete peace. How will that peace be? That peace is the ultimate peace, which is going to lead them towards moksha, towards their final liberation. Mat samstham adhigacchati. This param shanti, this shanti is what kind of shanti? Which is going to be a nirvana shanti. It is the one which is going to unite you to whom? To Parampita Paramatma, to the Sri Krishna. That is how this entire process is. It by contemplating upon yourself, by contemplating upon the Brahma Tattva, by constantly thinking about the Brahma Tattva, the yogi who with a controlled mind, he is going to reach the moksha. What is that moksha? It is not something now. This there is a concept, there is a misconception that people have that moksha is something that has to be attained only after death. It is not like that. Moksha is something where you are constantly moksha, literally this nirvana, this mat samsthamadi gacchati, this moksha, literally this liberation means freedom. Freedom from all the worries, freedom from all the sorrows. We also need freedom from all the happiness, because happiness is also short lived. It comes with an expiry date. So that is why this is also going to be what it is going to be. So we need freedom from happiness also. That is why this moksha is not something that we'll get only after leaving this world. Moksha is freedom from all these worries, freedom from freedom in such a way that we are united with God. That is moksha that Sri Krishna is talking about here. This moksha is the when a person practices all these things, he will attain me. He will attain me means not necessarily he will have to leave this body. How was the state of Namdev Maharaj? Did he have to leave body to get united with God? No, Vitthal Bhagwan used to come and he used to eat from his hands. And Namdev Maharaj would feed Vitthal Bhagwan. That is moksha. In this world itself, they have seen Sri Bhagwan. That is the highest liberation. Being united with them throughout, that is the highest liberation. And this can come by a complete control of over your sense organs. But can this come to anyone? No, it cannot come to everyone and each and every individual. An unorganized person, a person who lacks discipline, cannot get this. So, who will get this? In the next two shlokas, Shri Krishna tells about how our daily routine should be in order to achieve this highest form of liberation while living itself. This moksha is something that we can achieve while living in this world itself. We don't need to leave this world, but in this life itself, by following a dedicated routine, what will happen? All the past karmas will get destroyed, and gradually we will be moving in the right direction. Where to begin with? By inculcating that discipline within us. What kind of discipline? Shri Krishna explains in the next two shlokas. Na tashnatastu yogosti na chaikantamanashnataha na chate swapnashilasya jagrato naiva charjana युक्ताहारविहारस्य युक्तचेष्टस्य कर्मसु युक्तस्वप्नावबोधस्य योगो भवति दुःखः न atyashnatastu yogosti. See, these two shlokas go hand in hand. Now, atyashnata means what? Ashna means eating. Now, atyashnata, not excessive eating. Somebody who is excessive, when we all know, same thing is mentioned in the next shloka also, yukta ahara. Yukta ahara. Yukta, the word itself means balance. So, yukta ahara. We should have a balanced food, not too spicy. Now, see, the balance in food is a very big, long topic, and it is very expansive topic. Here, what we have to understand is contemplate our own ahar. What do I eat? Too spicy, too bland, too just sweets, only potatoes? What is it? No, it has to be a balance. Now that balance is there, then the quantity comes into picture. Eating too much all the time, every 1 hour, 2 hour, just engage and ensuring that the digestive system is active throughout, or just what is required for the body. Where are all these rules mentioned in our Ayurveda, in our Vedas, in Ayurveda? If you go through these principles everywhere, now this is not something that we'll go dive deep into, but how is the ahar? Now the ahar is going to be different for different people also. A small child has different needs. A elderly child has a different need. A lady has a different need. The men have different need. The pregnant ladies have different need. What is right for you? We should be able to figure out what is right for us, and in that rightness ensure that we do not do excess. And here nachaikanta manashnataha. This somebody now here, the first look talks about excess. Everything will be in excess. Don't eat excess. Hmm. This such a person who eats in excess cannot do yoga. Who is too much in solidarity, too much who is not he's in too much of solidarity, they will also find it difficult. Nachati swapnashilasya, ati swapnashilasya. The one who sleeps too much, they also cannot do yoga. At the same time, too much awakeness, the one who does not sleep at all, they will also not be able to attain it. So too much sleep is bad. Too much jagran, too much very less sleep is also not good. There has to be a balance. Now, in between these two, in the next sloka, what he says is even more interesting. Yukta sapnavabodhasya. Now, there is one thing in the 15th, in the 16th sloka, we see that we person should not sleep too much or too less. At the same time, in the next sloka, what Shri Krishna says, Yukta sapnavabodhasya, who is moderate in sleep and wakefulness. In that, there is one more thing that we have to understand. Some people are awake the moment they get up, but still lying on the bed. And then what we do? That mobile is always there. I am awake, but I am not active. Thus, this entire shloka is not only about sleep and being awake, but also utilizing your time regularly. For that, this concept of schedule and dincharya and timetable, all that is to be solid. Asvapnavabodhasya. Even if I am awake, then I should not be only awake, I should be active and following the actions that have to be done. If I am awake and just still lying on the bed, that is also not desirable. And yukta cheshtasya kar, yukta ahar we have seen, yukta vihar. The moderation in everything, moderation in eating, moderation in recreation, moderation in karmasu, moderation in exertion of actions also. So, exercise, it has to be done regularly, on a regular basis. But that also, it should not be in excess. Hmm. We should be exercising daily, 40 minutes, 1 hour, based on your physical condition, physical needs. The exercise has to be done. But that also has to be done in certain limits. It cannot be excess. That is also not good. So there has to be a balance. Shri Krishna is using this word yukta. This yukta is, there are some words which cannot be translated appropriately. There are the words like dharma. This cannot be translated in Sanskrit. Like that, yukta is also one word which cannot be translated into Sanskrit. But we have to understand and experience this word. What is right for you? It should not be excess, and the definition of right changes from person to person. So we have to first contemplate, identify what is right for us, and what is right for us. We have to ensure that it is followed. All this has to be followed in moderation. Moderation is the basic rule for everything. That whether it is sleep, whether it is wakefulness, in all this there has to be moderation. Both these shlokas are very important. Moderation in food, sleep, wakefulness, we have seen. Ahar is not just restricted to the food we eat. Ahar is also applied to other sense organs. The things that I see are ahar for my eyes. The things that I listen, they are ahar for my ears. What I listen, what I see, that also has to be done in moderation. All these things are ultimately going to manipulate my chitta vritti. My mindset is going to get modified by this ahar, by this diet which I'm following for my uh, eating habits, for my eyes, for my ears. This is all that I'm consuming from all my sense organs is going to ultimately affect the state of my mind, and that is why all that should be in moderation. It should be adequate. It should not be less. It should not be excess. It should be in a complete moderation and such that it does not take me away from the Brahma Tattva. It should not be taking me away from my final ultimate destination, which is what? Which is unition with God. And when all these rules are followed with thorough discipline, what will happen? How will be your mindset? Where will we be heading? Shri Krishna explains that further. Yada viniyataim chittam atmanye vavatishtate nisprahas sarva kamebhyo yukta ityuchyate tada. Hmm? What is this yukta ityuchyate tada? Who is this yukta? One who is able to have that perfect control, viniyatam, perfectly controlled mind. And such a person is what he will not have any of these cravings. Even while doing all his work, all his cravings will be suppressed. Hmm. Even while all this, even while doing all the worldly duties, he will not have these cravings. He will not have he will not be tempted towards anything. His chitta will be wow. It will be in complete control. They will understand. They will know how to withdraw from all the different temptations. They will have a completely controlled mind, and they will always be stationed where their mind will always be stationed in the God. They will not be dwindling anywhere. And such a person, nisprihas sarva kamebhyo, they will be free from all these desires, unnecessary desires. They are the real yogis. Such people are the real yogis who are able to have a perfect control. Where will this control come from? This control will come from following your own duties regularly. Somebody who has full faith in the discipline. Now, how do we follow our rules? चलता है एक दिन ना. Some people are doing fasting. One day, अरे it's okay, चलता है. That चलता है attitude is the root killer of all our discipline. We forget that the whatever wherever once we have made some rules for ourselves. These rules should be such that you have full faith in your rules. Once I have decided that this mala jap I have to do every day, once if I have decided that this ekadashi has to be done every time, then it should be followed no matter what happens. Then that chalta hai, it's okay if I leave it once in a while. Then people come with excuses like Bhagwan ne kaha bola hai. When has God told you to do that? All that excuses people make for themselves. But again, excuses are the nails to build a house of failure. Our entire sadhana, our entire journey of sadhana will fail with that one excuse that we give that it's okay, one day is fine. Shri Krishna says, no, you have to follow the discipline properly. Full control you should have over your chitta, over your mind, which is going to take you what? Steady in the direction of being called yukta. Yukta tada yukta iti uchyate. Who? The one who is able to be nispraha, who is able to free themselves from all these longings. And such people do exist. There is a story about a great Maharaj in the south. Staying. The Swamiji tells his story. He had a niyam that he will not stay outside any goshala. He used to live in this goshala, and once the president wanted to come and meet him. So now that president was also a very spiritual person, but and so he wanted to go for this darshan of this Maharaj. So one collector went and spoke to this Maharaj. Swamiji, please come. See this Goshala in a small place. We cannot, how we can get the president over here. You please come. He's living in the guest house nearby. You please come. And then we can have the darshan. Swamiji didn't say anything. His sister said, no, he will not go anywhere. No matter what happens, he says, he will not come. The collector tried his level hard, but Swamiji didn't even refuse, nor did he give any explanation, just the pranam he is doing. Finally, the disciple told, no, this is not going to happen. Then this president who was told, he was a spiritual person, he said, it's okay, they will follow their rules. I will go and I will do their pranam. What is the thing? This president went and did pranam, nothing. No temptation, nor the temptation to meet such a great person dwindled Maharaj from his rules, from his niyam. For us, we'll quickly, it's okay, break the rules. Why? All these things, our guests, our children, everybody becomes much more important than the rules that we have laid for ourselves. When we are choosing a sadhana path, when we are deciding that we have to go in this on this spiritual way, we should be able to stay on this path. Viniyatai chittam. We should have a controlled mind and stay on this path. And that is what is going to give us that ultimate liberation. And in this context, Shri Krishna gives a very beautiful example. What is the how that mind is, how that chitta is. Yatha deepo nivatastho ningate sopama smrita yogino yata chittasya yunjato yogamatmanaha. Such the mind of such a person is what it is. Yatha deepo nivatasto, the like a lamp. Now, how is the lamp? Now, this lamp, if it is in the absence of wind, in a place, Nivatastha is a place where there is no wind, a windless place. In a windless place, how the lamp will be, that jyot will be, the lamp's flame will be very, very steady. It will not move at all. Mind you, this is not a picture of the lamp. What is the difference between photo of a lamp where the flame is not moving and a real lamp in a windless space where the lamp is not moving? In the photo, there is no oil that is burning, the wick is not absorbing oil, there is no kriya, there is no work that is happening in the photo. It is just a photo. But in actual windless place where there is no wind, that jyot is steady, but the action is still happening, the burning of flame is still happening, the oil is being burned, the wick is doing its job, and in that burning, even in that burning state, it is managing to remain steady. That is how a yogi is. Even while doing all the actions, the yogi is what? His chitta is steady. His mind is absolutely steady. Yatro paramate chittan niruddhan yoga sevaya yatra chaivatmanatmanam pashyannatmani tushyati. Hmm. What is this yatra? This person, what Shri Krishna is telling about a person who has completely mastered this yoga. How is his chitta? Yatro paramate. Here there is a very important word, uparamate. Uparamate chittam means what? Now we start feeling what? That controlling the mind means we have to keep a strict control over. If it is going anywhere, we bring it back. But here, what Shri Krishna is talking about is a distaste that a person develops. For instance, just to understand this word uparamate, when we are small, everybody at some point of time, small children, they love to watch cartoon shows, isn't it? These cartoons, animated movies, they feel so nice. But as a person grows, and then the same cartoons which were very, very, which we were very, very fond of, now the same child, when he has gone in the teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, what happens? We lose interest. It doesn't interest us anymore. Uparamati is this disinterest that Shri Krishna is talking about. Once his mind is completely absorbed in the Parabrahma Tattva, then there this yogi will have a complete distaste towards what? Towards the towards this entire all these subjects of this world. They will not be interested. Any sale is going, they will not be interested. I don't need anything. I am happy, content with my Paramatma. That is how they are able to restrain. They are not, by continuously following this practice of yoga sevaya, by continuously practicing this yoga, they have attained a restraint which is such that will develop a natural disinterest, a natural distaste towards these worldly things. Hmm? Yatra chaivatmanatmanam pashyannatmani tushyati. And then when this distaste is going to be there, what will happen? They will be just happy looking at their own yoga sthiti, just happy with themselves, happy in their own stage. Yet, how is that possible? Happy with looking at themselves, how happy about with themselves? Because they have found this new thing. Now, if somebody is exercising a lot, and what happens? There are some transformations that happen in the body. Hmm? If I'm doing a lot of exercises on a regular basis, and then we see, oh, I'm looking slimmer, nice, and then how we see ourselves? happy. Oh, wow. Look, and then the body is not new. We have been looking at ourselves for some decades, but Pashyannatmani Tushyati, though it is not new, they find that newness in what they are observing within themselves. They are finding a newness in their self discovery. They have rediscovered themselves through this process of dhyan, and now this prashant, this peaceful self, where they see a reflection of Paramatma Tattva, they are just happy seeing that. Pashyannatmani Tushyati. When a bride, she decorates herself for the wedding, and after such a long, it's not the first time that she's seeing herself, but what will happen? Looking at themselves and happy. I can look so beautiful. That is the state of this yogi. This is a don't take this example very seriously, but how it is the our own swaroop after this dhyan, what we see in ourselves is going to give us lot of bliss. Such a yogi, he becomes very happy to see his new form, his form which is a form united with what? With the Paramatma Tattva. Such is the form of this yogi. Hmm? There is a very beautiful statement even in the Patanjali Yoga. Yada drashtu swarupe vasthanam. Once they see their own swarup, they will be very, very happy. And such, what is their happiness? The happiness Sri Krishna explains in the next slok. Sukhamatyantikayat buddhigrahyamatīndriyam veti yatra na chaivayam stataschalati tatvatah. This bliss that they experience. How is this bliss? Atyantika, excessive, infinite. They experience infinite happiness. In what? In this entire, this happiness goes beyond buddhi grahya. It is beyond what our intelligence can imagine. It is beyond what our sense organs can feel. This happiness is transcended. It is beyond what our sense organs can feel. It is beyond what can be grasped by their intelligence, by our intelligence. This is absolutely infinite happiness. What was the happiness that Tukaram Maharaj experienced? What was the happiness that Namdev Maharaj has experienced when he is singing these hymns of Vitthal Bhagwan? Veti yatra na chaivayam stitaschalati tattvatah. So this kind of happiness, they are, and it is not a temporary happiness. Why it is known as Atyantika Sukha? It is infinite happiness because a person remains steady in it. Sitas chalati tatvatah. They will be steady in this reality of Paramatma forever. It is the happiness which is going to remain steady. It is going to remain in this state. It is firmly established in this state. It is the happiness which has no limit. It is firmly established in this particular state. And when person is in this state, how does it feel when you experience this excessive infinite happiness? How our mind becomes? That is a very interesting thing to know. Shri Krishna explains in the next shlok. Yallabdva cha parallabam manyate nadikam tatah yasmin sthato na dukkhena guruna vivichalyate. How is the state of such a yogi who has experienced this happiness of from the yoga, from the dhyana that they have done, the happiness that they obtain, yallabdva, whatever they are obtaining after this kind of yoga, this cannot be explained in words, this cannot be explained by the intelligence, this is beyond the experience. How is this? This will make you go beyond all sorrows. Hmm. Because of that state of happiness, no matter what sorrow comes in your life, it will start appearing very, very small. But some people will feel, is this even possible now? We are in Kali Yuga, will we become so fearless? Yes, very much so. People have experienced this, that even because of this happiness that they get from learning all this yoga, this dhyana yoga, they are able to get that state of mind Where gurunapi vichalyate. What is this gurunapi? Even if a dukkhena, gurunapi dukkhena na vichalyate, even a very big sorrow, a heavy sorrow cannot deter them. Veer Savarkar ji, we all just know him as a freedom fighter, a barrister, a poet, an author. But one thing that we probably don't know is that he is a great yogi. Of what level? He used to daily recite the Bhagavad Gita, this all Patanjali Yoga Sutra, they were all kanthastha. Hmm. That time on those days, everything was had to be kanthastha, everything was by hearted. So all these Yoga Sutras and everything was by hearted by him. So these values were deeply rooted in his character. Now, you will see how it is reflecting in this case, Guru Napina Vichalyate. Here, this when he was given the Kala Pani Saza, we all know that this was the worst punishment that the Britishers could give to the freedom fighters. Now, Savarkar ji was sentenced to not one but two life sentences for the Kala Pani. If it would have been somebody, normal person would have felt so horrible, would have completely submissed, completely felt sad, would have been totally distraught by this punishment. What is this two life sentences? Two life sentences is more than 48 years in that Kala Pani. Now, he said, what Veer Savarkar ji must have said in the courtroom when he was given this life sentence, not one but two life sentences. Anybody else would have cried, felt depressed. What Savarkar ji says, two life sentences, that is 48 years. That much time your British rule is not going to last in the country. This is the statement that he made. This such a huge sorrow. It had absolutely no difference on him. What he is saying, Arey, this much your government is not going to last, and he happily accepted the punishment that came through his time. And when people saw when he came back from the prison and when he was asked, how did you sustain such a horrible lifestyle, so much pain you had undergone there, how did you sustain all this? Savarkar ji says, because of the Patanjali Yoga Sutras and Bhagavad Gita. These two scriptures I used to keep when he was working in the prison. He would be in the prison. He used to keep reciting the Patanjali Yoga Sutras. He would keep reciting Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā. He says, Bhagavad Gita and this has been responsible for my balanced state throughout this punishment. That is the power of these scriptures, and that is the power of the yoga. The yoga that we are talking about, this is what is that yoga, which will give you that balance, that stability, that infinite happiness, which will make all other sorrows small. So understand that it is going to make your life very sorted. It is going to make your life very sorted by not reducing the sorrow in your life, but you will become so in such a happy state that all sorrows become small in front of you. And after this, what Sri Krishna tells is a very beautiful, just elaborating this point, he gives a very beautiful new definition of yoga. What is it? Tam vidya dukha sanyoga viyoga yoga saindratam तनश्चयेन योक्तव्यो yogo nirvenna chetasa. Such a beautiful definition. He is saying tam dukkha sanyoga viyogam yogai sanjatam. So this first line, yoga sanjitam, vidya dukkha sanyoga viyogam yoga sanjitam. This is another definition you can say of yoga. We have seen different definitions of yoga. Yoga karma su kaushalam. This such definition of yoga. This is the next definition you can of yoga. What is yoga? This yoga is something which will keep you separate, which will keep you shielded from all sorts of sorrow. So now what happens? We have this entire sorrow is why, because we are feeling it. There is this when you are completely stationed in yoga, what will happen? Tam vidya dukkha sanyogam. While even if you are in touch with any sorrow, this yoga means you will be shielded by this yoga. This is what is yoga. For instance, now suppose a person has to go. There is a story of a king. This king was walking in his garden, and one day a thorn pricked him. And what the king says, I there are so many thorns in my garden, and these thorns are just very irritating, always disturbing my work. I don't want any thorns in the garden. Put a green, soft carpet throughout the garden. Now he says the ministers are like, how much garden we can control? Ultimately, thorns are thorns; they can pop in everywhere. He said, no, no, just cover the entire garden. So one of the ministers with some courage went and asked, what is it that you want, my dear king? He said, I don't want the thorns to touch my legs. I want the whole garden clear. He said, you don't want the thorns to get cleared. He gave him a pair of shoes. You wear this. No need to cover, just to wear the shoes and walk there. The thorns will not affect you. Yoga is that avaran. Yoga is that shield that we can have on ourselves that will protect us from all the thorns in our lives. It will keep us protected from sorrows. It does not mean that by reading Bhagavad Gita, by learning all this, we will not have any sorrows. The sorrows will keep coming and going, but we will remain unaffected. Means the thorns will not prick us. We will not get affected. How Veer Savarkarji has protected himself from this thorn. He did not get affected. That will become our stage. That is the meaning of this first line of this shlok, which gives the definition of the yoga, that it protects you from all the sorrows. It is like wearing the gloves. In Corona time, what we were doing? We were going out or whatever we are doing. We cannot protect, we cannot shield ourselves from Corona. We cannot take out a sword, hey, Corona, go, and then we will fight out. It is not possible. We cannot stop ourselves. What we were doing, wearing a mask and protecting ourselves. That is the mindset of a yogi. He is in that blissful state that nothing disturbs his state of balance, his state of happiness. That is yoga. Hmm. But this comes to what? People with strong determination. How is our determination? We lack our determination. We sometimes says 2 days something is followed. We are the Atma, this Arambashur, that word Swamiji uses, Arambashur means in the beginning we'll start everything with full determination, with full energy, everything we will start. But what will happen ultimately? Slowly that determination goes. First, 5 days in a week doing yoga, then 2 days, 3 days, then back gap, and that is how we end up becoming. But what Sri Krishna says here, yogi sa nischayena yoktavyo yogo anirvinna chetasa. Yoga anirvinna chetasa. The person who becomes such yogis, how is their mind steady, undespairing? Nothing will stop them. Hmm? They will remain steady. They will practice this yoga without stopping, without any disturbances. Mm. They will continue. They will be self-motivated. This word we hear so often, self-motivated. In Veer Savarkarji, we were discussing sometime in Kala Pani, what was the motivation that he had? Nothing. He was self-motivated. Who told you can learn, chant Bhagavad Gita? No, he was self-motivated. Ramdas Swami, at the age of 12, he ran away from his house, and at the age of 12 he has the determination to do that severe meditation, to that crores and Ram Nam Jap he was doing. And now we have books so easily available. Just to go to store.learn Gita, order the book, read Bhagavad Gita, attend class. So easy for us. But for him, that was not possible. He had to borrow books from people, write them down, and we are boggled by just one Bhagavad Gita. At the beginning of his Grantha Das, both Swamiji, Ramdas Swami Maharaj, Samartha Swami Maharaj, he has mentioned about so many Gitas at the start of his book. That much study these people have done. What was the motivation? Self-encouraged, self-motivated. That is the prime characteristic of a yogi that Shri Krishna mentions here in that second line. They are nischayena, nischayena yoktavyo. They are following all these with what? With full determination. Hmm. Where is this determination getting dwindled? Shri Krishna explains in the next slok. Sankalpa prabhavan kamaus tyaktva sarvan sheshatah manasaivedriyagramau viniyamya samantatah. Talking about distractions, something comes. What happens? Why we are distracted? The main root for all our distraction, for all our desires is what? Sankalpa. Sankalpa means what? That comment that we make. Wow, this is beautiful. We have discussed this in the previous session also. Sarvan Kaman Asheshata. All for a yogi, all the desires are not existing. Why these desires are not existing? Because there is nothing that he likes more than his sadhana. He is so absorbed in his sadhana, in his own work, that other things don't interest him much. Hmm. Desires must be restrained. What is the root cause? Because we are saying now, wow, this is nice, and then gradually we'll feel. Some people are today they will follow this sadhanas. Tomorrow they feel, no, no, that is more effective. Let us do. Today they are doing Zumba, next day doing Surya Namaskar, next day doing some other meditation. Our mind keeps going in all directions. Why? Because we start feeling the other thing is better than what we are doing. The other thing is better than what I have. What I have is inferior than what others are getting. Let me try that. That kalpana, that small imagination that we have. Oh wow, that is better. That is the root cause of everything. That sankalpa prabhavan kamaus. What Sri Krishna says, such a sankalpa, this sankalpa, samyaktena kalpanam iti sankalpa. That is the definition of sankalpa. I'm saying, oh wow, this is nice. That is sankalpa, and that gives rise to all desires. Sri Krishna says the yogi are free from this desire. Aprabhavan, sankalpa prabhavan kamas, they do not have this. They have abandoned all these. They do not have any reservations about any desires because they know what they are following is the best. They have full control, they have controlled everything, and because of their control, they know that this is not superior. What I am doing is superior, and that they continue following. Following for how long? This is one important question. Now, many people ask, how long is it going to take for me to be able to see God? Now, sometimes they will have such questions. ये कब तक करना पड़ेगा? When, how? Just a few days back, somebody asked, I want to, not come back to this Mrityu Loka. Nobody wants to. But how long will that journey be? How do I know? We cannot know. This is a very slow process. So, continue. First thing that Sri Krishna has told here is that you have to come sankalpat prabhavan kaman tyaktva sarvan asheshata. We have to continuously be on that path. We have to walk on that path without having any reservations. We have to keep doing, having full manasayvendriya grama, man and all your indriya, all sense organs should be in full control, and understand that we have to keep walking in the direction of our sadhana with full control. And it could be a long time that we might take, but our destination is surely going to be ours. So Shri Krishna says how we have to keep doing. There's a very beautiful poem I'm reminded of. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. So we walk on this path of sadhana for as long as we are going to walk. शनैः शनैरुपरमेद् बुद्ध्या धृतिगृहीतया आत्मसंस्थं मनः कृत्वा न किञ्चिदपि चिन्तयेत्. But what we feel, we want everything fast. We are in a era of instant everything. Instamart, Insta whatnot, everything has to be very fast for us. But what Shri Krishna says, this is not something that you will get instantly. You have to kind of gradually, slowly. What happens? This walk on this path of sadhana, continuously walk on this path of your spirituality, and gradually what will happen? Thi buddhya dhriti gruhitaya. By your intellect, by controlling your intellect, controlling your mind, what will happen? You will be able to establish that with the firmness. You will be able to establish to yourself how Atma Samstam, established in self. Established in what? In that state of steadiness, in that Atman, we will be established, and Hinchadapi Nachintayet. Nothing else will be of your interest except that what this we have started gradually experiencing, isn't it? From level 1 to level 2, level 2 to level 3. When we start reading, when we start contemplating Bhagavad Gita, it becomes a habit, and gradually we are able to give up on other temptations and no, it is my class time. We will sit. In small proportions, we have started experiencing this. That experience gradually keeps increasing. It continues for many, many years, many births, and then, but we should have faith that sometime it is going to happen. At some time, that ultimate liberation, I am definitely going to get. We should be assured that nobody can take us away from this. Don't be boggled if we feel that this is not heading anywhere. I still get sorrow. I'm still not able to get remain focused. We still experience this. The Didi, we try to control anger, but still not able to do. Slowly it will reduce. It will at least reduce. For disappearing, it is going to take little long. But have faith, it is definitely going to happen. Shri Krishna also says, Shanai Shani. Have one faith that once we are on this path, slowly our karma is fading. Our karma of bad karma is fading, and what is ultimately happening? Our chitta shuddhi is happening for sure. We should be very, very assured of this. यतो यतो निश्चरति मनश्चञ्चलमस्थिरं ततस्ततो नियम्यैतत् आत्मन्येव वशन्नयेत् yatah yatah nischarati. Whenever our mind is dwindling here and there, we have to understand that it has to be brought back. Tatas tato niyamyaitat. Control. It is a natural thing. See what happens with our mind will do its job. It will go here and there. It is its mind. Its job is to move here and there. What we start doing, we start fighting with ourselves. So hard I'm trying to do this self control, but it's just not happening. Sri Krishna says, don't do that. You don't have to, keep, scolding and right? This is not happening. It's not working out. We don't have to get in a conflict with our mind. We have to just calmly bring it back. Calmly bring it back. And well, it has to be restrained, but how? Slowly. You have to, you don't, it will keep getting restless. Whenever and wherever it becomes restless, you should just bring it back. But at the same time, this is that advice that Swamiji gives, that you should not get into a direct conflict with your mind. Oh, this is not happening. Slowly get it back. And quietly experience the bliss. How to get this mind back? See, there is a very beautiful example Swamiji gives. There is these children. No matter how much you try to control them, they are just going to wander and not going to listen to you. One mother who is being little impatient, she'll say, "Come back, scold the child," and keep saying, "Arey, he's such a naughty child, not listening to me," and will do lot of the mess. Will scold the child a lot and will be very, very irritated and trying to control the child. There would be another mother who is a little more mature. She will understand, okay, you are a nice kid now. Don't do that. Come sit again. Listen to me. Again going out, okay, don't, you are a nice kid. That mother also knows that the child is not nice. He is a naughty child. But still she will keep saying, you are a nice child. No, you're not naughty. Be nice. We will keep explaining. What happens by this? The mind slowly starts getting tamed. Samartha Ramdas Swami, where he gives Manache Shlok, what does he say? Mana Sajjana Bhakti Pante, Mana Sajjana. He says, oh mind, you are a noble one. We all know mind is not noble. But he says that you are noble. Why trying to tame? Not getting into a conflict, not punishing the mind that you have wandered here and there. No, quietly bring it back without any stress, without any pressure, just bring it back where? Towards the Atma Tattva, towards the Paramatma Tattva. And when you continuously do this process, what will happen? That great transcendental happiness will come to you. How it is? Prashanta manasam yena yoginam sukhamuttamam upaiti shanta rajasam brahmabhutam kalmasham. How is this happiness? This happiness is supreme happiness. Prashanta manasam yenam. This one, that person will have a peaceful mind. Yoginam sukham uttamam. It is not just average happiness. It is the best possible happiness that a person can get. What will happen? Upaiti. It will come to this person. The supreme happiness will come to the person who sees what? Everything in connection with God. Upaiti shanta rajasam brahma bhutama kalmashan. They will be developing such high level of equanimity in God and themselves, that everything around them will be connected with God. When I see everything in connection with the God, what will happen? It brings me a lot of peace. When just one small thing you try, hmm, that at the moment, if I feel stressed, this has to be done, no, this much I have to do. At that moment, if God is there, He will take care. That one sentence brings so much peace. Imagine somebody who is steadfast in that kind of in that kind of a state. The person who is continuously in that assurance, such a person, Brahma Bhutama Kalmasham, gradually he will be so quietened, he will be in such a peaceful state. Gradually he will start getting free from all the sins, because he is assured that all good deeds are happening, everything will be happening. He will be continuously on the path of sadhana, and all the sins will get washed off, and he will attain a lot of peace. This peace, how is this peace? This peace comes to the one who is practicing yoga. Yunjannevam sadatmanai yogi vigata kalmashaha Sukhena Brahma Samsparsham Atyantam Sukhamashnute. How much peace can be attained? Atyantam Sukhamashnute. He enjoys. Right now, what are we enjoying? Ashnute, we are enjoying food, all these. But imagine somebody who is literally savoring that happiness. Sukhena Brahma Samsparsham. He will be free from all the yogi, talking about the supreme yogi here, what Sri Krishna is saying, that the one who is practicing yoga, he who is constantly engaged in this practice of yoga, he is free from all sins, and because he has the touch of Brahma, because he is in constant. What was the when the how was the state of Sudama? Even in that state of poverty, always in touch with Sri Krishna, his state of happiness, the poverty could never change. Even after meeting Krishna, he was not having any expectations of Krishna. Whatever he got from Krishna was totally unexpected. But at the same time, even after getting all that, what is he asked for? I just want your friendship in every birth. I will stay. He continued to live in his hut in the same old house, and allowed his wife and children to live in the palace gifted by Sri Krishna. He continued to remain. He said, I want to stay in touch, because Brahma Samsparsham, he is in touch with that Brahma Tattva. He understands the bliss of being in touch with Paramatma Tattva. There is no happiness greater than being in touch with the Paramatma Tattva. Atyantam Sukhamashnute. Because that is the highest happiness. Then this worldly happiness has no value in front of such a devotee. Look at Sudama, look at Mirabai. So much was around her, but none of these things ever enchanted her, because she was just happy. Brahma Samsparsham, she was in touch with the Paramatma Tattva. And because they are continuously engaged in this Paramatma Tattva, they are constantly in the happy state of being in touch with Paramatma Tattva. What they see around them is all Paramatma. What they see around them, Sri Krishna explains in the next slok, सर्वभूतस्थमात्मानं सर्वभूतानि चात्मनि ईक्षते योगयुक्तात्मा सर्वत्र समदर्शनः. Such a beautiful slok which explains how is the vision of a yogi. How is the vision of a yogi? He sees the Sarvabhutastham Atmanam Sarvabhutani Chatmani. And what is within me, I see in others. Vitthal Bhagwan is in me. Then when they were doing the business, Sant Eknath Maharaj, Tukaram Maharaj, all they would see in the vegetables, in the fruits, in all the creatures around them, they are seeing whom? This Paramatma Tattva, he is within me, he is in others also. Ikshate Yoga Yuktatma, because they are so paripurna, they are so full of this Ishwari Tattva, that they see the same Tattva everywhere. And that is the whole point how our saints are. They love everybody with the same feeling, same love harmony they have for everyone. They will be saying the same. For them, nobody is rich, nobody is poor. Nobody, no matter how the devotee is, whether he has wealth, doesn't have wealth, what is, they are all the same. Whether they are thinking now, this Eknath Maharaj, when he was traveling from Kashi to Rameshwaram, they are carrying that Ganga water to be put on the shivling in Rameshwaram. On the path, he saw a thirsty donkey dying out of thirst. What he did, the entire Ganga water, he gave it to the donkey. They see that the Shivaji, who is in the Rameshwaram shivling, the same Shivji Ansh is in this donkey, which is thirsty over here. This kind of intellect comes only to the ones who are steadfast in yoga. It comes to the one who is a perfect yogi. How is the vision of this yogi? Yo mam pashyati sarvatra sarvai cha mai pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sachame na pranashyati. Such a beautiful slok of how God is united. See, this yogi, a devotee, is able to see God in everything is one thing. But what assurance Sri Krishna gives here, that it is this person, the one who sees me everywhere. Yaha mam sarvatra pashyati, just sarvam mai pashyati. He sees me in everything. He is seeing everything in me. For such a person, I never vanish. I am always with such a person. Thus, so God is also always united with him. It is not just one way now. This love, this unition, this feeling of unitedness becomes a two-way feeling. Whenever Namdev Maharaj will say, hey Vittala, Vittal Bhagwan will come in front of him, appear in front of him. Now, this is not a very old story. Namdev Maharaj is from Kali Yuga only. So, it is not yuga dependent also. It is only your emotion dependent. What feeling we have within me. By this dhyana, by the process of dhyana, by contemplation, by devotion, all this is taking us where? It is taking us to this perfect unition. For that, Namdev Maharaj didn't have to leave his body. Very much within this body, Vitthal Bhagwan came and gave his darshan. Not just once or twice, so many times. Why? Tasyaham na pranashyami sachame na pranashyati. For him, I don't separate. He and I never are apart. We both are always together. We never separate from each other. We never stay apart. That is the ultimate devotion. That is the ultimate state that a yogi attains. This beautiful journey of yoga will continue in the next session from the 31st shlok. We will see further how beautifully Sri Krishna gives ways to attain this, how different thing progresses. We will see it in the next session. With this, I offer the entire discourse, entire discussion at the lotus feet of Param Puja Gurudev, with whose blessings we all are getting to hear these beautiful shlokas. May with his blessings we get to experience this eternal happiness also. Let us pray in his feet. Hari Om Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Shri Gurave Maha. Om Tat Sat. Sorry about the time, but complete.
With
Thank
heartfelt gratitude, my sincere thanks to respected Shraddhaji Raodeo ji for today's enlightening Vivechan. Your clear explanation, deep insights helps us on the path of meditation, self-control and inner peace. Thank you. Before question and answer session, I would like to remind you on the sacred occasion of Geeta Jayanti Mahotsav from 15th November to 31st December, a chapter Parayan and Chintan with Dr. Ashuji Goyal at 6:30 a.m. every day. Complete Parayan at 7:30 p.m. every evening. Please all join together for the same. And also play Geeta Olympiad on the link geetajayanti.com. To deepen understanding of Geeta, kindly join the grammar session as per your language will be held tomorrow, that is Sunday, 14th December 2025. And new L1 batch is going to start on 19th December. Please inspire and encourage for the same to your loved ones. For question and answer session, kindly raise your hand. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna. Think we can take the question. Anjana Didi can
Jai Shri
ask you.
Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Ma'am, I would like to understand this shlok number 21 once again.
Okay. Can I just 1 minute? Sukhamatyantikaya yatta. It talks about the happiness that the yogi experiences. How is his happiness? It is infinite happiness. Once we are united with God, once the yogi, by his dhyana, by his contemplation upon God, he is united with God. And how is his happiness? This happiness is unique. See, there are certain things we end up saying that मुझे तो समझ में ही नहीं आता. We become speechless. Sometimes even some worldly things will give us that happiness which is not describable, which cannot be described in words. Sri Krishna is talking about the same type of happiness. This happiness that they get, it is beyond our comprehension,
So,
beyond the
ma'am,
intellect.
in our daily life, how do we experience that happiness? What are the kinds of happiness which we can experience in our daily life?
The happiness, whatever type of happiness that we experience. See, now there are this Gita is such a beautiful grantha. The happiness, any happiness for that matter, it falls into three different categories. This also you will get in Bhagavad Gita only when you go to the 18th chapter, level 4. There Shri Krishna tells about three types of happiness: sattvic, rajasi and tamasi happiness. The happiness that we experience in daily lives falls into any one of these three categories. So what are those happiness? When you do the 18th chapter, you will go into the detail, but for just for the sake of completion of this thing, I am telling you that happiness will fall into these three categories. All this happiness, these three types of happiness, this is very, very short-lived. Even if it is sattvic happiness, whether rajasi or tamasi happiness, every happiness that we derive, sometimes there is happiness that we derive just out of अरे उसका वो गड़बड़ हो गया. In that kind of happiness can also be there. Some the happiness that is coming out of doing workouts, happiness for some other people. Every happiness will fall into any one of these categories. But no matter what, the happiness that we experience in daily life is short lived. It is as long as that thing is, if I'm very happy about something, how long? Suppose I'm happy eating some sweet, that is short lived. If I'm happy for the results that my kid has got, that will also last maybe 1 year, 2 years, couple of years max. Every happiness that we experience on a daily basis is short lived. What distinguishes this happiness from the happiness of our daily life is that this is a permanent happiness. This will never dwindle. Now it is difficult to imagine. That is why it is yat buddhi grahyam atindriyam. That is why it cannot be. It is not even comprehensible, because we are still stuck with daily happiness, because our intellect is limited to that. But this happiness is beyond that. It is beyond the comprehension of our intellect, it is beyond the comprehension of our sense organs. What the happiness, I suppose touch some nice soft thing, it feels so nice, happy happy, अच्छा लग रहा है, इसको soft soft sweater है, अच्छा लग रहा है. It, that happiness is my sense organ, my skin is experiencing, but again that is going to be short lived. But the happiness that is expressed by the skin as softness, it is experienced. किसी की बहुत मधुर वाणी, some very nice speech, beautiful music, my ear is experiencing that happiness. But the happiness that is being spoken about here cannot be comprehended by any of these sense organs also. My ears cannot experience it, my skin cannot express it, my vani, my speech cannot express it, my intelligence cannot comprehend the happiness that is being spoken about here.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna. Adarsh Bhaiya, Jai Shri Krishna, pranam to you.
Jai Shri Krishna. Didi, my question is that the word Paramatma and Bhagwan are same or different?
They are more or less the same. See, Paramatma and Bhagwan. Bhagwan, actually, there is a very nice definition for Bhagwan or the person, but they are the same. That divine energy only. It is the Paramatma Tattva. It is the Bhagavan.
Okay, right. Thank you.
Jai Shri Krishna, pranam. Jai Shri Krishna, Poonam Devi, pranam.
Yes, such a nice explanation you have. But basically, my question is just like the Anjana Devi asked. I want to ask, we are on the spiritual path. How can we come to know it? What are the changes we can feel in ourselves?
The changes that we feel in ourselves is that steady destination towards the peace. Now, some of those changes Sri Krishna mentioned today, and in the last session towards the end, we had seen the characteristics of a yogi, how he is content, how he is happy with himself. There were some shlokas that we did last time. They are the first question that you had asked was how we know that we have become a yogi or we are on that path of yoga. We had seen the shlokas number from 6th to 9th where Shri Krishna is explaining Bandhura, sorry, not 6th, sorry, from Jnana Vijnana, say 8th shloka onwards. Jnana Vijnana Triptatma, Kutastho Vijitendriya. If we have done all these, Jitatmana Prashantasya, Paramatma Samahitah, Shitoshna Sukha Dukkheshu. So are we, when something happy happens, just these are the technical, this is the technical answer to your question. How do we know that we have become a yogi? Is any sorrow making us depressed? Is any sorrow still affecting us? Ultimately, what was the definition of yoga that we saw today? The perfect definition yoga is samatva yoga uchyate. There are three definitions of yoga in Bhagavad Gita. Yoga karmasu kaushalam, samatva yoga uchyate, and the one that we saw today with yoga sanjitam. Vidya dukha viyogam sanjitam. The one that will shield you from the from the sorrow. All this is boiling down to what? It is boiling down to only one thing, that we remain undeterred in any kind of sorrow, in any kind of pain. If anything undesirable is happening to us, we remain undeterred. We remain on the path of sadhana. That is the very first and the ultimate thing. For us, if one maid doesn't come, we lose all this. Our state of happiness goes for a toss. कि घर में काम वाली बाई नहीं आई है, our entire happiness goes for a toss. That is our level of balance that we have. But what Sri Krishna says, Shitoshna Sukha Dukkheshu Jitatmana, all those things he is saying that state of happiness should be permanent. Nothing should affect you. Any undesirable thing, it does not affect you. And throughout, you are only in the thoughts of Paramatma. That और कुछ अच्छा ही नहीं लगता है. No, nothing else is happy. That is what will keep you. And how long it is an eternal process. Just one very simple thing. गंगा जी का प्रवाह जैसा है, we say गंगा is going towards ocean. गंगा जी एक बार मिल गई तो मिल गई ऐसा नहीं. The प्रवाह is continuous. This journey is a continuous journey. There is nothing like हो गया, now I have achieved my degree, I am a yoga pravina. No, nothing like that. It is a continuous journey. It is not going to stop. And it is not just for this birth, it is for many births to continue.
Thank you, Didi, for the nice explanation.
Thank you, Didi. Jai Shri Krishna. Pranam to you. All Swamiji's Kripa. May His Kripa be on all of us always.
Yes. Shall we sum up, Didi?
Yeah, I don't see any further hand raises.
Okay.
I think we
Thank
can.
you, Shraddha Didi.
One hand raise is there, Deepti Didi.
Okay,
Murli
okay.
ji is
Okay,
there.
okay. No issue.
So, thank you so much for the explanation. I think I had reached that stage where I was not fully understanding the essence of this chapter, but you did a good job last time and you reiterated it and you made the connection to worldly things that we all experience today. So you made it more relevant to today's time. So I appreciate that very much.
Gurudev.
And you made the case today for also that you cannot sense it. You have to just be committed to that yoga all the time. So I wanted to say thank you for your explanation. I have no question today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It is all Swamiji's Kripa. Only with his blessings we all are able to get this. Even while speaking, I don't think it is me who is speaking. I think it is just Swamiji who was doing his job from there. I keep his photo in front of me and वही करवाते हैं. Jai Shri Krishna. Pranam to you.
Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you, Shraddha Didi, for a beautiful doubt clearing session. Let us offer this session to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna by prayer with Tamanna ji. Tamanna ji is a student. She is studying and is in Geeta Pariwar from September 2023. And she is anchoring for English group since when you are connected. Most welcome, Didi, for prayer. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna, Didi. Thank you. Yogesham Sachidanandam Vasudevam Prajapriyam Dharma SansthapakamVeeram Krishnam Vande Jagadguru Shri Krishnam Vande Jagadguru.
Thank you so much, Tamanna, for melodious prayer.
Thank you, Didi.
One more hand raise is there. Ramya ji has raised. Can we take her? She's asking a question on chat also. Sorry.
The last prayer.
Ramya Didi, can you please turn on your video if possible? For a minute and then you can turn it off. Ji. Jai Shri Krishna, Ramya ji.
Jai Shri Krishna, ma'am. In what is the path we have to follow to sacrifice our life to God? To sacrifice our life to God. That
Sacrifice.
means.
You mean to say how to offer our everything?
Yes. One way we know is the prayers. Always chanting Om Shri Paramatmam Namaha, that mantra in the mind. Apart from that, any other way?
Chanting is very important, right? Like you rightly said. At the same time, see, just oral chanting is not going to happen. Every time when we do some work, we should have a feeling that this work I am doing to make my God happy. When in the 11th chapter also, Shri Krishna says, Nimitta Matra Bhavasavya Sachin, he says to Arjun, like you are, all the things that are happening are pre-decided, you are one cause in between. So when I am doing something, for instance, if I am cooking for my family, I have an emotion within me that I am doing this as a service to the Paramatma Tattva. I am taking care of this family because this is a duty entrusted by me by my Paramatma. Shri Krishna has given me the job of taking care of this. Any task that we do, simple thing. We all are learning Bhagavad Gita in the class. What is the aim we keep in our mind? That I am learning it for myself. Sometimes we should feel that I am learning Bhagavad Gita to appease my Shri Krishna only, just to make him happy. He wants me to learn. I want to make him happy. Everything we do with an emotion that ये उनके लिए कर रहे हैं. We are doing it for the Paramatma. And this feeling cannot be constant. Our mind is a human mind. थोड़ा देर रहता है, then again we dwindle, then again like for some time we feel that this I am doing for Paramatma, again we dwindle from our thoughts. In this kind of situations, what we have to do? We have to just believe that this early morning when we start our day, we just start our day with what? With an emotion that whatever I'm going to do today is going to be offered to Paramatma. Every action may it be offered to you automatically. Before sleeping, just do that one prarthana. Whatever actions we are doing in between get offered to the Paramatma Tattva. So just reminding ourselves that this is for him is enough. And sometimes it is not possible to remind ourselves, "Ye unke liye kar rahe, unke liye kar rahe." एक बार in the morning you say and once at the night you say, and that is sufficient. Then automatically everything gets offered to him. And it will not happen in a day or two. It happens gradually. It is a practice we have to gradually put. Right?
Okay.
Thank you. Jai Shri Krishna Balaram.
Okay. Thank you, Tech Star Sandhya Jairam Didi. Thank you, Tech Team, Vivechak Team. Thank you. My sincere thanks to you all devotees of Lord Krishna. Please stay in the session for chanting of Hanuman Chalisa. Jai Shri Krishna.
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारि बरन रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायक फलचारि बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसति लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र औ ध्वजा विराजय कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजय शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन वसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सिंहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर सहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावै अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावै सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीना तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र योजन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर पल जानु प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाहि दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुमरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज समारो आपै तीनों लोक हाकते कापै भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवै महावीर जब नाम सुनावै नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावै मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावै सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा जिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै सोई अमित जीवन फल पावै चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नो निधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावै जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावै अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटई मिटई सब पीरा जो सुमिरई हनुमत बल बीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर गोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़ हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा तुलसीदास सदा हरिचे राखी जयनाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय।
We will meet in the next week in the Vivechan session of third part of 6th chapter Atma Sanyam Yoga.